Misinformation. We understand that the world loves drama. But what is the cost of us getting this drama? Should we cause chaos? We saw images generated via AI being posted all over when the NUP offices were raided with condoms and military uniforms scattered all over. As a photographer, I could tell immediately that this was AI generated. But what happens when my grandmother, who knows nothing about Photoshop, knows nothing about generative AI, sees this? Aren't we starting a war on our own? I would like to conclude by thanking you all for coming here and begging you all to come to consensus with me and agree that even though social media is good, we have used it to undermine press freedom in democratic society today.
Thank you so much for your submission, Pascal. It was a great start to what we are discussing today. You mentioned that AI has been used in the media. You mean mainstream media? And what examples, if mainstream media, have you seen of AI being used to spread false information?
I did not mean mainstream media. However, we have to understand that in the media we have citizen journalism. And some citizen journalists are resorting to AI to use and generate videos to back their stories. We saw this with the Diddy arrest, P. Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs, with a generated image of him being paraded through the streets in cuffs in what seemed as a very provocative outfit. Thank you.
What's your benchmark for democratic societies?
My benchmark for democratic societies would go back to what democracy is and will always be. A government by the people. This means a government set up by the people. That's the free and fair elections. A government for the people, a government that is working towards the betterment of the people. And a government of the people, made of the people. Meaning that we are the voices, and that voice should not be taken away from us. Even in doing so, we should not be confused by the very few that have understood technology and start to confuse our voices.
Where are your border parameters in this debate, sir?
The world. The world as a whole. Because freedom begins with you and I, and we are part of this world.
So it contextualizes the democratic societies that you're talking the world at whole?
Yes.
Thank you.
The next university to present, can we have either KIU or Makerere University? Just more onto the rules. We will put a placard up if 1 minute is remaining. And when time is up, we will signal you as well. In case Makerere University or KIU is ready, please move forward. We are running out of time.
A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My emphasis will mainly be press freedom first, although most of the colleagues, honorable colleagues here, are expecting much to talk about maybe whys, the why side, such as to gain more points. But our emphasis as Kampala International University today, we feel happy when we talk about press freedom deeply, because we believe that journalism can make the world a better place. Press freedom, in our opinion, as Kampala International University, we believe that it is the ability to express oneself, a journalist having that freedom to express themselves, to tell stories without being limited, without being stopped, without fearing what may come after, as long as it is the truth. It is based on accuracy. It is based on the core principles of journalism. That's what we stand for. That's what we're here to support through the views we are going to give out and many more. What is the purpose of the World Freedom Day? One is to raise awareness about the importance of press freedom, evaluate press freedom globally, honor journalists who have lost their lives on duty. It does not make sense, in our opinion, as Kampala International University, as the people are affirming, to just come and rush to the points, saying this is the negative part, without recognizing the main aim of the World Press Freedom Day. Honorable colleagues and honorable members present, we believe that we must promote press freedom and evaluate it so that it can reach greater heights, so that journalists can have the freedom to express themselves to the maximum. We all know that press freedom is the only remaining hope for democracy. It is the oxygen that democracy breathes. Without press freedom, you and I have no freedom, have no peace, have no institutions like universities. It is press freedom that gives out stories. And on our opinion crossing, we believe that social media has indeed undermined press freedom. Due to factors like harassment and intimidation of journalists that is online. Journalists have been harassed and intimidated online due to protest comments, the hashtags that are threatening, promoted by social media that would not come on the mainstream media. Let's take a look at TikTok, one of the platforms that the youth are using right now. We all see the protest vote. Whenever a journalist is covering a story, they always find a way of relating it to politics. This may put some journalists in perspectives that they do not represent. Due to social media, a person comes out, talks about something that maybe the government has done, and you find in the comment section, there is full of hate speech, comments negative towards that journalist, saying, these people took money. There's no record for that a journalist who is reporting about an incident, either the government has constructed roads in a certain area, that journalist was given money. But we find in the comment section, and people who do not have that critical thinking skill, we journalists can do that. But the community outside that we represent may not have that ability to critically analyze the comment section and know that this is hate speech. And they will take a journalist as a partisan, as someone who is supporting a certain political group. That leads to harassment and intimidation of journalists. There is no freedom there when a person, we are all human beings. Yes, we're journalists, we're professionals, right? But we cannot find a hate comment, a comment promoting hate, and you feel comfortable. Next time you'll be reporting, and like, if I report this, maybe they will talk negatively about me. So that is one of the challenges. Another one is erosion of trust in traditional media. Due to hate speech, due to social media's way of doing things, people are now shifting their trust from the mainstream media to online, to social media, where there is no restriction, where the core values of journalism do not appear at all. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram does not follow the core values of journalism, the accuracy, the integrity. They don't mind about minimizing harm. So if people are shifting to now social media, where there is no control, where no government doesn't have control, then maybe we are not going to have the press freedom, because the core values of journalism are targeted. When you're posting something online, it's a TikTok, you may violate the rules, which are not in line with the core values of journalism. They may say, what you have put out is against the guidelines of TikTok. Yes, it is in line with core values of journalism, but not in line with the guidelines of the social media platforms. Now the journalist will be silenced. But someone who has come out exposing nudes online, they will not flag that as inappropriate. And the audience is consuming that. Remember, as journalists, we speak, we tell stories to the world. And it is from the message that we give them to a clear mind. To a clear mind. So if I'm a journalist, I'm telling a clear mind, I'm trying to tell a story to a clear mind. There is no relationship. The mind is already distracted by social media. The person is already stressed. Some people are harassed online. I'm telling a story about what has happened, but someone is depressed. So, are we sharing stories to trees, to buildings? Because we are trying to align. We want the audience to conceptualize, to understand we are talking, to make informed decisions. Colleagues, how will this happen? How will we have press freedom when social media is ruining the last thread of democracy, which is the oxygen democracy breathes, and that is press freedom? Thank you.
Thank you for your submissions. You mentioned that there has been increased hate crime against journalists on social media. Could you give an example of one of the hate crimes?
Thank you. Recently on TikTok, a journalist, Samson Kasumba, has been termed as someone who supports the NRM government. Not because he has come out publicly to say he supports the NRM government, but because he talks about something that the government has done. Because the social media has trained people to believe that when you talk about any positive thing happening in Uganda, you're, in quotes, a mafia. So Samson Kasumba is one of the examples. Hate speech, he sometimes replies and is like, I no longer mind about you people. Keep doing that. But there are some who do not have the guts, like Samson Kasumba, who will choose to keep quiet. Especially the ladies who do not have that, who do not feel good when they are offended in such a way. Men can somehow tolerate it. But we should indeed fight this. That social media is ruining this. Not all journalists will be able to endure such hate. Thank you.
I've heard you say that social media and people out there only abuse rights of others. Did you?
Yes, I did.
Do you know what Article 29 of the Constitution says?
Maybe if you could clarify, sir, I could give you a detailed analysis.
You're under cross-examination. I don't clarify under that.
Yes.
The other question for me, I ask the questions, okay?
Thank you, sir. Although he's talking about a
Yes
constitution.
or no? Do you know what Article 29(1) of the Constitution says?
I do not understand critically that one.
Let me continue with my questions to you. There is that time where you said that very many, actually, let me first ask you, what are your border parameters?
In regard to?
In regard to everything you say, what are your border parameters?
What I believe in, I believe that we may disagree.
No, what I'm asking, what are your border parameters to this debate?
We are affirming. We are saying that social media has undermined press freedom in democratic societies, sir.
And what are your border parameters?
Like, clarify more, I need
you.
to understand you. Is it done? Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
And the last university?
I'll be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the motion says that social media has ultimately undermined press freedom in democratic societies rather than promoting it. We as Makerere University say that social media has actually promoted press freedom. I will start by giving our characterization of tonight's debate. Later, I will go into the substantive of our arguments and then rebut what has come from the affirmative team. Article 29 of the Constitution states that there must be freedom of speech and expression. That is, freedom even for press and other media. And when we are talking of freedom of speech and press, this is essential in a democratic society. Because a democratic society is one which is for the people, by the people. That means people have to freely express themselves. People have to be given opportunity to say things that affect them, to point out harm or damage when they see it. And that is essentially what social media does. It is important to note that in today's status quo in Uganda, we have 13.3 million people who are using the internet. And this number keeps growing each and every single day. And we are also a young population. So the people who access things from the media is really large. But despite the fact that many people use social media, what do we have? We have a government that has, for a long time, controlled traditional media. And with control of traditional media, censoring it, there is no way we are going to have press freedom if we constantly have government censoring these different platforms. So what does social media bring? Social media brings an avenue where it decentralizes information. Anyone, anywhere can say what they think. They can speak out on a matter that affects them. And this is why social media is important. Our main argument in tonight's debate is that social media acts as a check and balance for mainstream media. It makes mainstream media accountable, because without social media, we shall continue having traditional media that does not represent the issues that affect Ugandans or even people globally. It would rather talk about things like no rainfall in the village areas and then forget that people are being killed on the streets of Kampala. And yet what social media does is that it creates awareness for the challenges that actually people are facing in today's world. Firstly, in terms of our arguments, we would like to say that it acts as a check and balance. It acts as a check and balance for this traditional media, because where you have people saying New Vision is for government and Daily Monitor is for the opposition, and NTV belongs to opposition, and then other media platforms belong to government, that in itself shows that people will never get credible information. Even when NBS is giving credible information, people will think that, these guys are just siding with government. So this is where social media comes in, because with social media, it is self-regulating. We had arguments of, there is misinformation and all those things, but those things do not stand, because social media self-regulates itself. Even when people are bringing news from different aspects, because of things like the comment section, you can easily tell what's right and wrong. Because of things like the community note on X and other social media platforms, they will always put to show that this is correct information, this is wrong information. So social media in and of itself has a self-regulating mechanism. So even when there's information from everywhere, people can still tell what is right and what is wrong. And what does this do? It makes mainstream media accountable. Because if people on social media are complaining that there was a march to parliament last year and it was not talked about on mainstream media, and young people have been kidnapped and mainstream media has not talked about it, then because social media has talked about it, then mainstream media is forced to have a voice and say something about it rather than avoiding it completely. That is the importance of social media. It is a check and balance in such circumstances. Furthermore, social media is a place where it is very accessible to get information. I need to get 2,000 to pay for a Daily Monitor newspaper. I need 30,000 to pay for DSTV subscription or even GoTV subscription. This is money. 60% of Ugandans today live below the poverty line. People spend less than $1, less than 3,000 a day. So do we expect them to get information from televisions, to get information from all these different platforms? No. We rather expect them to use 200 to buy data. You can even use these wireless Wi-Fi networks that are around, and you can even access these things without necessarily having to pay for all of these. So these are the things that social media does and helps to promote press freedom, and at the end of the day, democracy in and of itself. So things like misleading information that we hear from the other side, things like harassment of journalists. In fact, journalists are harassed, and it is social media that stands up to defend them. That is something that should be taken cognizance of in tonight's debate. When things are said when journalists are harassed, it is social media that protects them. It's the one that gives them a voice. And at the end of the day, they are able to come to these platforms. Even when you say Samson Kasumba was abused and all these things, at the end of the day, this is why social media ultimately promotes press freedom in Uganda and at large. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Makerere University. You mentioned press freedom in terms of freedom of speech and social media being able to allow that happen. What would you say is the limit to freedom of speech on social media? And I know you mentioned misinformation could be regulated because social media self-regulates, but how does social media self-regulate? The other question is, social media with self-regulating, how many Ugandans know what community notes are? And that is only just for one platform. What about the other platforms, social media platforms? The other thing is, if someone in a rural community, probably Bududa or elsewhere, if they encountered information from social media through word of mouth, how would they be able to verify that information if the said means of communication is social media and not any other means?
Thank you so much. When we talk about self-regulating in regards to social media, this is a duty that is not only an individual one, but even one for the government. But in this particular sense, we find that social media has better regulation than we do for main or traditional media. Because what traditional media does is it will not tell you information. It will leave you closed off. And that in itself is a violation of a constitutional right. But you have social media, which allows you to actually air out this information. And the truth is, it's very decentralized. Anyone can say everything that they want to say. And that is where the problem is. But we know that when some people are educated, they'll be able to tell that, okay, this is wrong. They look through the comment section, and they can probably tell, okay, this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing, and they then can come to their conclusion. But that is what I mean by self-regulating. You can look through the comment section and be able to tell if it's true or not. You can look at the community notes and tell if it's true or not. But where you're left in a place where you cannot tell what's right, then that is where government comes in. It is not a place for mainstream media. It is not a place for social media. It is a place for government. In fact, if we look at the Computer Misuse Act, it puts a burden on government to be able to implement policies that regulate whether it's social media or traditional media. So at the end of the day, it goes back to government, but even from social media, we still have this regulating happening. Then in regards to if I'm from Bududa and there was a word of mouth about something that was said on social media, how can I ascertain it? That is also a thing that neither social media or traditional media caters for. If I was in Bududa and I was told something, I'd go to my LC1, I'd go to an elder and probably ascertain that knowledge. It is something I can't access whether from television or from a smartphone. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Could you remind me of the figure you quoted of Ugandans living below the poverty line?
Well, I said 60% of Ugandans.
That's not true. It's 42.12 according to this UNICEF report of 2024 and a story did by Daily Monitor on 12th December, same year.
Thank you so much.
You talked also about the number of Ugandans using social media.
Yes, please.
What figure did you quote?
The ones using internet, I said 13.3 million.
And then the one on social media?
No, I've not yet quoted any.
Okay.
Yes, please.
You said it's 13 point?
3 million.
Oh.
Yes, please.
I would like to correct you that number is 33.34 million cellular mobile connections according to the UCC report I see here.
Okay, 53. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much as well.
Wow. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Does this work towards your anticipation for today's debates? It's working. Okay. Meanwhile, I want to thank the previous speakers that have represented the different universities in the stature of the first debate. And for now, allow me, let Antonio say something.
Thank you so much. I can see our judges are very busy. So in the next few minutes, we'll be getting to know the universities that will be. Let me first test this seat to see if. Okay, so this is the seat that the next two universities will be enjoying. But I was noting a few things. And one here is freedom of the press means everyone gets to speak until the Wi-Fi goes out. So those that depend on the Wi-Fi, And then there is that social media is the only place where people argue about facts with screenshots from memes. So I don't know where that leaves us. And then someone here said before social media, people shouted at the TV. Now they shout at strangers and call it engagement. So I don't know which side you see that is taking it, but you should have a valid argument. So I'm just going to pick one or two people to share with us which side did you see and the reason. Okay? You should have a reason. Don't just pick a side and you don't have a reason. If you are from that university, say, okay. Otabong, which university do you see that is going to the next round?
Probably the first speaker. Yeah, you did very, very well. Yeah.
The good thing, the rest don't worry because he's not the judge. He's just sharing an opinion, which...
Yeah, in my own opinion, probably Makerere University will go to the next round. And to our moderator, Mr. Arnold, you asked about cellular and internet users. These were two different things. Cellular users are 38.6 million. Internet users are 14.2 million as of 2025. And as of 2024, internet users are 13.3 million. And this is according to Uganda Communications Commission. There is a difference between a cellular phone and internet connectivity. These are two different things. Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes, we can tell where this money belongs. So, but we will continue. And I want to find one more person to share. Which university do you see going to the next level and why? Any?
Okay, hi guys. So, considering the fact that we have a very good history in winning, of course it's clear you're going to the next round. That is no bet.
Yeah, I was technical to find each person represented. One from UCU, Makerere, and KIU. So I want to read this, that after the debate, someone called me biased. I said I'm not biased. I'm opinionated professionally. Does that exist? It doesn't. So ladies and gentlemen, Our judges, I'm told, they're about to tell us the next two universities that will battle here. And the organizers, I'm told that this thing, I don't know, will it be needed here still? Okay, so if you have a smartphone, this would be a very good opportunity for you to take a picture, then I will tell you what to do. Yeah, especially this side, not a selfie where I'm standing here. After, I'm seeing very few people. You trust. And that is a very important value that we should all have. The other important thing that you can do is to go online, YouTube, find Media Challenge Initiative, and there's a link to this debate. That link, you can share it with the person who said you will never be on TV. Share it. Then tell them, is this you? And I'm also going to make sure I tell the camera person to zoom you in so that you get that opportunity to capture that photo. So as we wait for the judges, I see, I can just tell you what they are doing for your own information. But from what they are doing, I'm seeing one letter that has been constant, a university that starts with the O, and you're here. Get to know that you are going to the next level. Do you know that university? I don't want to. So after we'll hear from the judges, they will just share with us briefly why they feel these two universities are going to the next level. And but personally, I enjoyed the argument from the three speakers around the issues of social media, press freedom. And there is someone here was quoting from that book that governs this country. And it reminded me how I was just about to cross over and study law. And I only realized that there are so many people studying law, so I could do better somewhere else. I didn't want competition. So if you do you have the photo I want to share? How many took the photo? Only 2 people now, really. We are talking about press freedom. How are you even exercising the freedom to take a photo, to exercise some press elements in you? So when you all take, I will tell you what to do, and we will proceed. So the judges, I believe, are ready to tell us what next. The other important thing I want to remind us that we have gifts for all participating institutions. So don't miss or leave your gift behind. So when that time comes, you should be ready to receive those gifts. So please, in case you don't go to the next round, you don't need to feel bad, but to continue learning and enjoying. Thank you so much. Let's hear.
Thank you very much. First of all, give a round of applause for the 3 teams. As judges sitting here, we really liked the level of engagement, the confidence exhibited by all the three participants who showed up here. And that ability to stand your ground when you're being asked some questions, clarification, I think that was a good thing also. And where you're given, where there's fact-checking and then you realize maybe you had overstated the fact, also it's good to concede. So those are positive aspects, okay? From our observation here, generally, in terms of content, press freedom, you could still do much more in terms of understanding, unpacking what press freedom is, okay? There was an attempt, I think, from, oh, I want to capture. The camera is not seeing me. Okay. Hope this is okay now. So I was saying, the subject matter, when you're going for a debate, when did you get when were you given the topics? I think apart from the last participant, I think, and you gave it the treatment was not a comprehensive one. So when you talk about press freedom, for example, or you could take it from the international covenants, okay? International covenants, the UN. If you go in the regional ones, African Charter on Peoples and Human Rights, you'll find there aspects of this. Then you can domesticate it to Uganda, where you have Article 29, which talks about freedom of expression, which shall also include freedom of the press. This freedom is for what purpose? That's the part which was not, that link, this freedom, the power of expression is for what purpose? Ultimately, it's supposed to serve a public good. Think of any service, anything in government. Think about going to hospitals. Government right now is promoting vaccination for what? Malaria for young children. If without that information, without people having that information, would they be able to access that? So this freedom of media is not an end in itself. So we expected a little bit of more of that. And but generally we like the confidence. The delivery was good. Of course, you're not supposed to be transfixed at the back of the mic. Maybe is that the rule? They could move around occupy the rule is they're supposed to be stationed. Okay, so I've been clarified. The rule is that you should be in one place so that you're able to engage the what? The audience. All of you scored very highly, all the three teams, but we have the hard task of choosing two teams to progress. So I'll invite back on the stage, or is it me to I'll invite? No, just to declare. Okay? Team, you see you. Gets to qualify to the next round. And team MUK also gets to qualify. Team KIU. The rules. Team KIU, you put up a great performance, but next time better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we have the two teams. So our moderators will take us again what is going to happen. And I'm told we'll have three people here who will take us through the next item. I always want to give out money. But this task, I'm going to give it to the judges. Not to give out money, but to find the best debate of the day. This is from my pocket. Omuntu wa bulijjo. Yeah, so I want to give the best debater. Who can guess how much I'm going to give? Pardon? One ma. What is ma? So I'm going to discuss with my Holy Spirit. Then when I get back, I'll tell you how much. But just know there is an amount that I will do as Antonio, not as the organizers. So now I want to invite our moderators to tell us what's going to happen next. Then we run. I'm told that there are quite a number of things that each person who participated will be receiving. So please don't leave because you didn't make it to the next level. I also want to know if I'm not participating as a university and I want to be part, is there an opportunity that this company that I'm putting, the judges might say, maybe this person, it's up to the moderators. They will let us know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kisembo. So we have closed that segment of the day. We are now going into the finals. And in these finals, we want to introduce the two universities that have gone to the qualifying stage. That is Makerere University and Uganda Christian University. Please send your 3 representatives to come and take the seats up front. And then we will also get a representative from each of you to come and do the tossing as well. So if you could do that very quickly, we'll be very grateful. Of course, our conversation is still on social media, being ultimately undermining press freedom in democratic societies. Makerere University, have you decided? Let's be very fast. So we can go home early and get our gifts early as well. I will also welcome again to the stage my co-moderator to give us the rules of this round. Thank you. We first do the toast. He's saying we first do the toast. So before he gives you the rules, he wants you to know what side you're on, either negating or affirming. So please send a representative to come and do the toast. So which one?
Negative.
And?
Affirmative.
Affirming. Okay, so my co-moderator will now give the rules of this round.
Thank you very much, Bella, for that. I want to congratulate the teams that made it to this round, but I want to congratulate all the 3 teams that participated in the first round. It's brave facing cross-examination and stating your case and proving your team burdens. It was good of you. Thank you very much. The audience, you were well behaved in round 1. Let's do it again in round 2. Audience, we can snap ourselves, eh? Okay, thank you very much. So in the round 2 of tonight's debate, I want to remind you again, my name is Tongole Arnold, and we are live at the MCI Media Hub here in Kabalagala, and we are having these debates around ahead of the celebrations of the World Press Freedom Day, which is tomorrow, under theme of a brave reporting media and the impact of AI on press freedom. But Now I want to speak to the debaters this side. And allow me go back to my seat because I want them to listen carefully so that we don't see somebody discontinued by the judges from this debate. All right? Thank you. Dear honorable members of tonight's House, our resolution is the same. Hope you are aware of that. And maybe for emphasis, I need to ask the team affirmative to raise their hand. Team affirmative, the proposers, the government. Then this is team negative for the opposition. So this is how this debate is going to run. We shall have the first speakers from either side, A1 and N1. I mean the first affirmative speaker and the negative speaker. They will have a special 6 minutes. And then, because they make our opening statements, and then we shall have the constructive speeches by N1 and by N2 and A2. That's the deputy leader of opposition and then the deputy prime minister their side. They will have 5 minutes of making their speech. We are clear on that? And then we shall have cross-examinations. Okay? But this time, the cross-examination is modified. I mean, it's the finals, yeah? So the cross-examination will last for 2 minutes. And how will this be done? It's that for A3, who's A3 there? I want to speak to them. Oh, okay. So for A3, there, you'll have the role of cross-examining N1. And N3, where is N3? Oh, this is N3. So, okay, N3 and A3, you'll have the role of cross-examining A1 and N1 either side. Are we clear? Are we clear, ma'am? A1. Yes. The threes, the third speakers in this debate, the person that is occupying the whip speaker role will cross-examine the first speakers or the prime minister and the leader of opposition on either side. And then N2, A2, yes, A2 and N2, they will come and also cross-examine the others. Is the criteria clear? Do we have questions on cross-examination? You are N2. So N2, your role is to cross-examine A1 as well. So the ones cross-examine the threes, and the twos cross-examine the threes. The ones. No, the twos. I said the ones examine the threes. Yes. Okay. Okay, let me first proceed. I'm going to make that clear. I know cross-examination retrospective angling in cross-examination, sometimes it's hard in debate here. But I'm going to make that clear. Let me first continue with other rules we are going to follow. I'm only doing this as courtesy because this is a final and it's an intense debate. So there is a lot at stake. So we shall have the whip speakers at the end of the debate. And that's an idea for the World Schools debate. And we explained earlier when I met Mumbere and the other people. For you people, I didn't get a chance to explain to you. The role of a reply speech is like a closing statement. You don't debate. You don't introduce new ideas in the debate. You don't give us more examples to what your team arguments and your team cases look like. All we need you to do is to come and tell us what you've seen, how do you feel your team performed, and why do you think you walk away as winners of the day. That's clear? And then, I have not talked, and that reply speech will be the last speech from either side. And it's done by the first speaker. So the first speaker has 2 speeches in this debate. Are we clear? Yes. So the other speakers I've not talked about. That's the third speaker, who happens to be the government whip and the opposition whip, the 2 whip speakers from either side. And for you, your roles are very clear. You rebut to us, you rebut each other's case, make the case stronger. You don't introduce new points in the debate, but you give us more examples. You can give us more examples. And then you refute the opposing arguments from either side, and that's your role. So, we go to another part of cross-examination in this debate. The other part of cross-examination debate will last 2 minutes, and that will be from the moderators. Yeah? And then, what we are going to use, since this is a special round, it comes with timekeeping signals. And we have cards here. So, this green card symbolizes go. And this card is not for one political party, you know, okay? It's to notify you that you're remaining with 1 minute. Right? This is to go. This is 1 minute before your speech elapses. And then we have this other one. This will notify you to stop. Am I clear? So, in the meantime, dear House, I had not forgotten you. I was speaking to the debaters here. Yeah? In the meantime, dear judges, allow me, since it's a special debate, it's a finals debate, and we seek to get more information, more insight, broadening of cases like he suggested. Both teams, you have 10 minutes of prep time that begins now. You have 4 minutes to come to the end of your prep time. So, gentlemen and lady, we come to the end of prep time. I will ask the general audience to behave like they did in the first round. Thank you. So I said that I will re-echo how cross-examination will be done in our debate. And this is how it will be done. First affirmative speaker, you'll be cross-examined by the second negative speaker. And this shall happen immediately after your first speech. Are we clear on that? The Prime Minister from government, you will be cross-examined by the Deputy Leader of Opposition immediately after your opening speech. And then, the second cross-examination comes at a time when the first negative is also done speaking. Immediately, as both opening statements are done, we get cross-examination. So first negative, you are cross-examined by second affirmative, immediately after their first speech. Am I clear? So during that cross-examination session, you will have only 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and an allowance of 1 minute in case you need prep time in there. So that brings it to a total of 3 minutes. If you don't need the prep time, you can go straight. And then, the last one is of the second affirmative. Okay? The second affirmative speaker will be cross-examined by the third negative. The second affirmative speaker will be cross-examined by the third negative. And then the second negative speaker will also be cross-examined by the third affirmative speaker. All these happen immediately after their speeches. Are we clear on this, ladies and gentlemen? With the honor vested in me and the powers, by the organizers of this inter-university debate on press freedom under a theme defending truth in the age of polarization and distrust. Ladies and gentlemen, we kick off our debate tonight.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jenkins Kabi. Today we are here to discuss social media. This topic, social media has ultimately undermined press freedom in democratic societies rather than promoted it. Us as Makerere University, we're here to agree with this statement. We resonate with this statement. Social media has actually and ultimately undermined press freedom instead of promoting it. Well, press, if you're going to go into definition, it is usually the TV, the radio, the media that really is consumed traditionally. That is what you define as press, and this is able to give people in the society information. Whereas social media, on the other hand, social media is an online platform that allows us to create, allows us to share content, and it also allows us to interact with online communities. Basically, that's what social media enables us to do. So social media has been on a rise in the recent past, especially of the case study that is Uganda. Internet users have increased to 13.3 million. Internet users have increased to 13.3 million. And if you check global stats, you would see that 34% of these people are actually on Twitter, that is X nowadays. You'd see that they are 13% on Facebook. They are 7% on Instagram. If you add LinkedIn and other kinds of social media, you're going to see that you're well over 50%. This directly affects press freedom. This directly affects press freedom because it's like as if everyone is a journalist. And if everyone is a journalist, then who knows the truth? Who knows the truth, really? So there's been this increase in the past days, and actually, I beg your pardon, in the past years, and I would like to lay out a few points. First of all, there is algorithm bias. I would like to reiterate that there is algorithm bias. You see, a man like Elon Musk has a company that is X. These tech giants, they actually create algorithms for a particular social media, and after creating these algorithms, they fine-tune them in order to fit a particular narrative. Elon Musk himself says that the platform X that he owns, that it is the top information source in 140 countries. This is what he says. And we can see that, in fact, since X is now the top platform in 140 countries, according to Elon Musk, then according to Reuters and University of Oxford, we can also see that there's a decrease in people using news sources. The legacy media, you could call it that, or even traditional media, you could see that there's a decrease from 32% to 22%. That's a 10% decrease from 2018 to 2024. It should be shocking everyone right now. Because now people are shifting to using social media rather than using this traditional media that actually states facts. I will go right into the harassment of journalists. So journalists, they already are trained to be objective about the media they are producing. But at points, you can find out that according to the International Center of Journalists, 73% of the women in journalism say that they are being harassed online. They're being harassed online. That actually, it curtails their ability to publish information that they should be publishing. I would like also to go into economic pressure. Look at a person who is on X. They lose nothing by publishing something that is wrong. And then they have 1 million followers. They have 1 million people actively following what they are doing. And I know maybe you could talk about bots' presence, but if you're going to talk about these bots, you're going to have to talk about a percentage. What is the acceptable range that the bots could reduce the 1 million viewers or subscribers to his content? You're going to see that these people are actually feeding people information without any censorship, nothing at all. They're just feeding people information. But Daily Monitor, for example, has it has an image to protect. New Vision has an image to protect. And they make money by only selling information that is accurate. Because the moment that people who are listening discover that you're publishing wrong information, you're going to lose market there and then. So for them, they have something to lose. So you can be able to see that social media, in fact, it curtails the press freedoms. Moving on to government censorship and control. The government is putting this censorship on people in social media and as well on the media. So maybe I can give you additional examples. You can see that we've been talking about acts, and recently in the Computer Misuse Act there was something about use of vulgar language and miscommunication, something like this. I'm paraphrasing because it's something that I skimmed through. It's something that I skimmed through and I cannot particularly quote. But you see that with this kind of statement, people are actually unable to say things that they would have actually said. And this is just because of the government. I will dive right into the spread of misinformation that happens on social media. These people have no censorship. There's no censorship on social media. In fact, if you would go back to the tech giants being the ones to spread the information that they want to spread. The likes of Zuckerberg will have their own media on Meta, and they'll be able to spread the information they would want to spread. I would like to conclude by reasserting the motion that social media has ultimately undermined press freedom in democratic societies rather than promoting it. Thank you very much. Does he have to use them?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for your submission. I have one question for you. Do you have or do you hold any accounts on any social media platform?
Is this in relation to the motion? But yes, I am.
Yes or no? Say yes or no.
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So he already has admitted the fact that social media is good, and as a journalist, a student of journalism, you are using social media. The other question is going to be, you said social media is a tool of silencing people, and you said you tried to define something like censorship, but you did not give a very deep definition of censorship. So I'm asking that you help me define what censorship is.
Are those all the questions?
What is censorship?
I am noting down what you're asking. Would you like me to respond now or to respond after?
You can respond now.
I can respond now. So censorship, I will not give you a dictionary definition, but I'll give you my understanding of it. In my opinion, censorship is actually when you regulate what someone can be able to put out there. Due to different reasons, you could either have selfish reasons, or you could do it out of promoting societal values, traditions, and whatnot. So that is censorship, in my opinion.
Okay, the other question is going to be, you said social media users across the world amount to closely 50% of the population.
That is incorrect.
You said that, right?
I did not.
You said Twitter has about 1 million followers, the other plus, and you said that's
Unfortunately, that is wrong. A
Okay,
hypothetical situation of a person having 1 million followers. You can continue in that direction. That's what I said. Also, in response to the use of social media, it is true. Oh, time is done. Thank you very much.
Speaker that has just left the floor, he was very, very factual with most of his information, and I really credit you for that. Protocol observed. Once again, my name is Pascal Perez Mumbere from Uganda Christian University. And from the resolution I earlier re-echoed, we have decided to take the negating side. Because we do understand that everything has advantages and disadvantages. So, the writer Evelyn Beatrice Hall once wrote in something called The Friends of Voltaire, it is due that you find media houses, not only in Uganda alone, all over the world, holding on to stories and not publishing some things. We saw this very evidently with the march to parliament in Uganda. Our very own Faiza Salima was arrested brutally without a warrant. For no reason, she was arrested. It didn't appear on TV, did it? But because of the pressure on social media by journalists and more activists, she was released and granted bail. So I find it very ambiguous that someone would come here and say social media has undermined press freedom. The next point, exposure. Global reach and exposure helps press freedom in the sense that when you have wars raging all over the world, we are seeing what happened with Gaza and Israel. We have so many journalists that were murdered. An Al Jazeera journalist named Hilmial Al-Fakawi was burnt alive. And it was only run on Al Jazeera. I have taken my time to follow BBC, I've taken my time to follow CNN, it was not there. So, someone across the world, someone who could not access Al Jazeera can easily go to their website, to their page and see that story. That is the exposure I'm talking about. And in doing so, we are pushing for press freedom and not just having to stick to disinformation, misinformation. Your security and my security is also part of press freedom. According to the World Press Freedom Index, it's an annual ranking for all the countries in the world about press freedom. Uganda, they follow the political, the socio-cultural, economic, and safety indicators, including the legal too. They use these to rank the freedom of the press in these specific countries. According to the World Press Freedom Index, we have a country like India being in position 154, if I remember clearly. Being in position 154, we look at India as one of the growing economies, although it's not the best, but it's growing. We have the best medical services here, and we have a lot of hygiene issues in India. But because the press there does not have the right press freedom, most of this information we are getting now, why? Because of TikTok. You will agree with me that TikTok has helped us look at how the hygiene in India is. When I was young, my grandfather had to go for surgery, heart surgery, and we all know where that is. That is India, right? Now, as a child in my head, I built India and imagined India as a very clean, very modern, very, very big place. And it is just like Uganda, because now I can see it on TikTok. Then, I'm going to finalize with my point on accountability and transparency. Idi Amini Dada was the president of Uganda, and for years was portrayed as the monster, the dictator, the man that did nothing good for this country. Because that is what mainstream media wanted us to learn. I'm not saying he was a saint. No. I am just saying they did not give us the whole picture. It is now that I can quote Idi Amin Dada in his saying that a minister does not have to look for the president to get authorization to make a decision. I conclude with that and I say, Social media helped me find that about Idi Amin Dada, and he was indeed not always a dictator, but a man that just loved his country a little bit too much.
Thank you for your presentation, for starters. Maybe to get clarity, what burden does your side of the house have to prove to the audience today?
Our burden is to prove to the audience today that social media has not undermined press freedom, but rather promoted it.
And how has it not undermined? Give me one of the arguments you made.
One of my arguments was it has helped clear censorship.
Thank you, thank you. So, when you talk about accessibility, how many people, given the poverty we have, can afford a smartphone?
If you remember clearly what I said in an idealistic society, so I'm going to borrow that and bring it here.
All right, so you're debating the idealistic world while we are faced with realities.
As a matter of fact, he's actually doing what social media, what the mainstream media does, portraying an idealistic society and giving us just a sample, a small bit of what someone says, not everything.
I'm asking the next question. Have you heard of BBC, for example, make a documentary about the killings that happened in Kenya?
Yes, I've actually watched it. I've followed it. Thank you.
You've watched it on traditional media?
I did not watch it on traditional media. I followed it by, like I always follow Al Jazeera on YouTube. They are always live. You can tune in now.
Thank you. Thank you. Take your seat.
YouTube, which happens to be social media.
Social media has ultimately undermined press freedom in democratic societies rather than promoting it. What we hear from the negative team is the advantages of social media, which we do not refute. What they don't tell us in the debate is how social media is not undermining the roles of traditional media. When they fail to do that, that's where I come in to show you how exactly social media is undermining the press freedom in democratic societies. I will start. One, he says that he has watched a documentary of BBC where they made a documentary of the killings that happened in Kenya during the recent strikes they had. He says he watched it on YouTube, which is a social media site. Let it be TikTok or Facebook. But the parent organization where that information is coming from is BBC. Now that shows you that in their world, to get information, you need traditional media thriving, without which social media does not independently generate that kind of content that they decide they want to get. Even when Daily Monitor is existent on X, even when Daily Monitor is existent on YouTube, the credit for Daily Monitor's information on X is not to X, but rather to Daily Monitor. Now that is why it is important for us to protect organizations like these, because first of all, they have the mandate to provide people with accurate information. Now that does not exist in their world where we have anyone being able to, post anything they want and say that that is accurate information. The biggest problem in today's debate is a debate on misinformation. We tell you that when we have social media on the rise, with statistics that both sides of the house agree with, there is a problem that ensues that when you give everyone the capacity to post whatever they want, then that means you're eroding the moral fabric of some of these organizations that have the opportunity, that have the role of making sure the information out there is accurate. I will tell you, we tell you that one of the problems we have with the rise of social media is that there is a possibility that algorithms on social media can be altered. We've seen that with Cambridge Analytica in 2016, where they used Facebook to tailor information to people to vote for Trump. Not necessarily because Trump was the best candidate, but because algorithms for Cambridge Analytica tailored information in a way that only Trump was being talked about. The same thing with the war in Israel and Gaza. They will tell you, you will see everywhere that on social media, you will see everywhere that, Israel is right, Palestine is wrong, even when that does not actually happen in the real world. That's why they come to debate an idealistic world in real events that happen. Now, that is a problem, because when you paint a picture that, for example, Ukraine and Russia, that Russia is killing people even when it is not, it is bad for Russia and it is bad for the reputation of all media houses, regardless of whether they are online or traditional. Secondly, we tell you that the rise of social media, has made people shift from maybe buying newspapers to looking for information online. Now, that creates very many problems. I'll explain one. What that means is that people will no longer go to buy newspapers. That reduces revenue of companies like Daily Monitor, New Vision, NTV, or these other radio stations. When that happens, it means that they can easily be compromised by people who want to use these media sites for their own purpose. Now, when they are in a position where they can easily be compromised because they do not have the money to run these companies on their own, it means it becomes a problem. Because one, these are the only people who have consistently given us accurate information. Now, when they're in a situation where they're compromised, it limits their ability to still remain objective as they can be. It limits the ability for those people to be independent. Why? Because everyone is running to social media. We tell you that there's a lot of misinformation that is happening on social media. We tell you that there are very many problems that come with feeding people with the wrong information. When that happens, traditional media cannot play its role as it's supposed to. And that becomes a very big problem for it. Then the other thing is about accessibility. They say that for them it is possible, there's global exposure. But global exposure happens on our side of the house too. People can watch BBC, people can watch Al Jazeera, people can watch the Daily Mail, people can read the New York Times from anywhere they are. The difference here is that with our side of the house, people get accurate information because these people have editors, these people read through these stories before they release them. The difference that is on the side of their house is that anyone can post anything, whether true or not. Some people actually on the side of the house post information just for likes. They do not care whether it is true or not. As long as they get likes, they are good to go. So that becomes a problem when you have information from people who are just posting things for likes. Lastly, I will tell you that there are some people on these social media sites that are paid to influence for some things. Their incentive in this case is as long as you're paying them. They do not care whether you're giving them the truth or not. As long as you pay them, they spread that information. That becomes a very big problem for their side. With that, I rest my case.
So, thank you so much. Don't leave, please. So, let's begin from where I've stopped. They pay social media influencers to push narratives. Do you agree that editors are also paid to publish stories? Yes or no?
Let me get this to you.
Yes or no?
You've asked me, allow me answer. You get. So now here's the thing. We tell you that Daily Monitor has a reputation to protect. So even when you pay them money to publish for your story, they will not necessarily publish it because you've given them money. Someone on social media will publish that information because they don't owe anyone anything. As long as they are being paid, they will publish the information. That's the difference between the two.
All right. You mentioned, in your definition, or in your words, describe traditional media.
Traditional media, as explained by my first speaker. TVs, radios, newspapers, magazines. That's it.
All right, thank you. So, if BBC was to run a story on TV and runs the exact same story on YouTube, isn't that freedom?
What we are discussing, again, I think I will need to guide them. What we are discussing is whether traditional media is being affected by the presence of social media. Whether they run on social media and YouTube is not a question of debate today. Wherever they run, the impact that that information creates, whether it's because someone has seen it on X or not, is credit to that traditional media organization, not to the set they've used.
You have formed your own motion and debated it both sides. But going forward, is everybody on social media a journalist?
No, they are not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So before you leave, we still have time. Before you leave, are people entitled to their opinions? True or false? Right or wrong?
Very true. There's a difference, though, between what your opinion is and what the truth is.
Kennedy Tembo is my name, representing Uganda Christian University. I am going to start my presentation with a quote that goes something like, a free press can So let me carry on. I was saying I'm starting with a quote that goes something like, a free press can of course be both good and bad, but most certainly without freedom, the press will never be anything but bad. What does that mean for us in this world where social media is definitely one of the tools in which the press can thrive? I'm going to start by clearly attesting that social media is a tool. One of the reasons social media was created was to facilitate connection, communication between individuals. And with this definition, journalism is one of the ways in which communication and connection between individuals is made possible. So with that said, we are saying social media is definitely very important and crucial in this world of social media. In this world where journalism is definitely important. We are going to start with a point. I'm going to start with a point saying it's a freedom of expression. While social media, while traditional media has been very good in disseminating information back in the days, we see a very big trend of people using social media currently because, first of all, accessibility, like we already said, people find social media very accessible or free to use because they have the right to in-time reply. Okay, I'm going to explain this by saying that, well, back in the days when when traditional media only gave information to the people on the receiving end. So people on the receiving end said nothing or commented nothing. In this world of social media, while Samson Kasumba is reading the news, people are replying, people are commenting online. This has been a way that people are fact-checking or involving, and as freedom goes, for the people, a freedom of the people, by the people, and for the people, people are definitely engaging in their rights. The other point is going to be promoting social inclusion. A story ran around 2020 where a food vendor was shot dead by police during some NOOP campaign. We are saying social media is very crucial in the fact that this lady who was shot dead would not have gotten any hearing anywhere in the world if people did not record what was happening live. So, promoting social inclusion or justice, finding justice for people is definitely one of the ways social media has done so much to promote human rights. The other is going to be global reach. My first speaker already said that with social media, we can get to so many people and influence so many things at large. So, for a point of global reach, I am going to say that their member said that we should promote traditional media for the fact that we should give them credit. For example, he said BBC. BBC should be given credit for disseminating that or actually finding that information. But we are saying, without social media, without Twitter, without X, people would definitely not know of these people. Meaning, first, cost of buying a television, the cost of buying a newspaper. But with internet or data, people can actually access all this information online. The other point is going to be citizen journalism. While traditional media had watchdogs of information, I mean people who controlled information on how it was disseminated to the people, social media changes this and makes it a journalism or a form of journalism for everyone. I'm going to leave a question for the next speaker saying, while they say social media has no checks, I'm going to ask them the question that who was checking the traditional media? Who was in charge of controlling them? The other is going to be access to information. More than ever before, information has been made free through social media. And this is one of the only ways we are going to promote freedom of speech, especially press freedom. So with my point saying access to information. Information has the power to change. Information has the power to empower people. Information has the power to change habits, change societies, and change so many things. So with social media, we are saying journalism can get to so many people because they can access this information. They already said that Twitter has 1 million followers and many of that. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. I'd like to ask a question. Does social inclusion, or justice as you call it, doesn't it happen even with traditional media?
It doesn't, to a very large extent. My example was a lady who was shot dead in 2020 during some noob, a food vendor, moreover. She was not part of the campaign, was shot dead passing by a street. So I am saying, with traditional media, this would never have been gotten if someone did not record this on their phone. Thank you.
Thank you. The march to parliament, was it on social media?
It was made public on social media.
Lovely.
People followed this on social media.
Thank you. How many people actually turned up for the march to parliament out of the 50 million Ugandans or the 13.3 that are on the internet?
Your question?
Okay. The march to parliament was on social media. How many people actually turned up physically for the march to parliament out of the 13.3 that are on social media?
Okay. As a democratic society, we do not say...
How many people actually turned up?
I do not know the exact number, just like you cannot tell me the exact number,
Thank you very
can you?
much. There were 200 or less.
Really?
Thank you.
Okay. Are you done?
Yes, I am, please. I'll start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Social media has ultimately undermined press freedom in democratic societies rather than promoting it. I will start by characterizing tonight's debate, showing why we win this debate. And then I will also go into the major clash points of tonight's debate, and then wholesomely conclude as to why Team Affirmative wins this debate. Now, when we are looking at social media, the negative side decides to look at this in an idealistic world, a fake world. We are looking at this in the status quo, what is going on. The truth is, there is a rise in social media. But because there is a rise in social media, there is also a rise in inaccurate information. This information is not authentic and it is not credible. Everyone has become a journalist. People take pictures of things and then post them everywhere. So people are then left to make their own conclusions. They are then left to make their own sentiments without any check and balance. And even with, let's take them at their best case. They tell us that, oh, BBC, or if somebody is shot dead, BBC will then put it on their YouTube channel. So you still see that even with these things still happening, the only credible source goes back to traditional media. It goes back to television sites, it goes back to radios, it goes back to newspapers, it goes back to magazines. That is the essence of tonight's debate. The debate, in fact, is that on our side, that social media has undermined press freedom. What they tell us is that social media is good. Social media is a good thing. And that's okay, but that's not what the motion is about. It clearly states social media has ultimately undermined press freedom in democratic societies rather than promoting it. So what they are supposed to show us is that social media has promoted press freedom, or that social media has not undermined press freedom. This synchronization between social media and press freedom is something that they have not shown us. They have only shown us what press freedom looks like. So that brings me to the main clashes of tonight's debate. 1, freedom of expression versus credible truth and information. And then second, this global reach that they talk about versus accessibility. Now, in regards to freedom of expression, they tell us that, okay, because of social media, everyone can then say what they believe to be true. Everyone is a journalist, and in case you're affected by something, you can go ahead and say it. And that's okay, because there is freedom of expression. But how best are we to check this credible information from an incredible source? Everyone is sending in what they think is right. How then can we check the truthfulness of this information without traditional media? That is why we show you that social media has undermined press freedom, because no one is going to check what NBS is saying. No one is going to check what Daily Monitor is saying. They will be blinded by what they have seen on a TikTok video because it is trending. Because there is a certain song that puts down a particular politician, they will sing that without understanding what is happening on ground. Yet, traditional media or this press freedom goes an extra mile to carry out investigative reports. They go an extra mile to talk to local people, find out the truth, find out what exactly is happening, and then produce it. That is something that does not happen with social media, because everyone is a journalist. And at the end of the day, this credibility and truthfulness is what is lacking. We showed you the issue of algorithms on social media, and showed you that these different people, let's say Facebook or X, will publish what they want people to see, but not the truth. And the truth is got from actual areas. I'm not asking a question. Somebody else.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Ndekezi Ivan. I'm on the team Negators. So, one thing I want everyone to understand is media is a vessel for journalism. Newspaper, TV, social media. Like, the government has failed to understand that if a story runs on BBC or on CNN, CNN also has a social media platform that's going to put the same story. That's the one.
I had never seen someone shoot themselves in the foot so confidently. You stand up here with MCI putting us on their social media platforms here talking about truth. And you say social media is undermining freedom? We are live on social media. Tell me one traditional platform we're on right now. I asked your speaker, I asked your deputy speaker to describe what if everybody on social media is a journalist, and he said no. So we understand now that here's the difference between social media and traditional media. In fact, digital media as a whole and social and traditional media is that digital media is more accessible, as we mentioned, right? It has more people and it has more viewership because we can see the number of given our parameters that the negators set, the globe. We have been talking about how social media is being used in different parts of the world. But here's why. Mobilization for example, the mobilization we talked about, for example, the big campaigns and the big activism campaigns that we have seen, for example, the Black Lives Matter, have caused change, right? And that has been meaningful impact. The deputy speaker stood up here. I asked him about if putting the story on BBS is not freedom, and he said we're debating impact. If you're to gauge traditional media impact and digital media impact in the 21st century, which one would take the win? Digital media has a bigger reach. It has a larger number of people in the globe, not in Uganda specifically. They've given us the stats. God bless them, they know them. But in the globe, look at who is watching. So, elimination. My other point, my deputy leader of opposition talked about elimination of censorship. And you're talking about how, and you come up here and try to say that social media is not censored. But in 2021, we saw social media being closed towards the general election. So she's rebutting that our TV is closed. I'm talking about social media. TVs were not closed because they are censored. That's the point. Social media is free. It's instant. You can't censor something that's instant. You can't censor something that's free, that's seen by everyone. As much as you're going to delete a post, there's someone who's going to see it, repost it, and take a screenshot. Now, that takes me to my last point as we conclude. Social media is under public scrutiny, right? And social media, as journalists, were taught media and information literacy, right? And this is something we can spread across the curriculum. We understand there's fake news being what? Being put out there. But it's simply spreading media and information literacy across the curriculum to have a generation of people who know how to use social media. But my question is, who guards? Or what's the guarantee that the stories on traditional media are right? Social media is under public scrutiny. The whole world is seeing. We have media and information literacy. We have media and information literacy tools. She stood up here and said, the way I can tell a story is true or false is by checking the comments. That wasn't even shooting yourself in the foot. You shot something else. You get it? So, social media. As I come to a close, social media is simply a tool that is helping journalists spread their reach, their impact, and their work. It's not one that is undermining press freedom, because let me give you a clear example. As I come to a close, social media is one that has left all of us more free than we were without it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all your submissions. It was quite a heated moment. I could feel the fire rising. After this, I hope it's good blood and we shake hands at the end of it all. with those submissions, we would like to give you 1 minute each on the negating side and the affirming side. Give your reply, summarize everything all at once, give us a way forward from your point of view and your argument, and then we will move on to the cross-examination on our end as well as the audience, and then we'll close this.
Thank you so much, MCI. Thank you so much, Switch Africa. Thank you so much, Media Hub UG. My name is Pascal Praise Mumbere, and I'm here to deliver the reply speech for the negating side, and I come from UCU. So, our whole argument is going to fall under the English proverb that was taught to me in my primary 3 by a man called Mr. Kabau. He said, among the proverbs of English, we have one that goes, a bad workman blames his tools. Traditional media for years held the monopoly of giving us information, and we deliberately developed a theory that as long as it is on TV, it is true. Social media came to challenge that. I am on ground, I take a picture of a black person being arrested for no reason, a video. But on TV, they will say they arrested a gangster. But I will go and post, and another person is also in the same area. With that, we are able to keep traditional media in check. And because we have delivered this, traditional media comes and singles out those few moments to try and fight social media, because the truth is traditional media is afraid of the competition that social media gives it. SuperSport almost sued Fabrizio Romano because he always beat them to the sports deals that were happening all over the world. So again, thank you so much. We have to appreciate that social media has indeed promoted journalism and press freedom. Thank you.
Good evening once again. I would like to dive right into it, starting with our reply speech. The gentleman here talked about reputation. Legacy media, traditional media, all these kinds of media, traditional media has a reputation, and that is true. They have a good reputation of providing accurate information. Whereas social media, what reputation do they have? What kind of reputation do they have? Why did they gain this reputation? It is because they were able to publish correct information most of the time. You can see that even with the rise in social media, people still trust traditional media more than social media. Look at accessibility. Look at accessibility. People are speaking about accessibility when you're talking about 13.3 million Ugandans in 50 million, if you round off. Radios, 89% of Ugandans have radios. Calculate. Do you know what that means? What are you talking about? Accessibility. Accessibility. Look about receiving information. We're talking about receiving information. It's not all about receiving information all the time. It's about receiving accurate information. You know, on TikTok, there was this story moving around that Ibrahim Traore has now cleared the date of Burkina Faso. But how true is this? And this is moving throughout the whole of social media. You see that Kenya... Thank you very much.
Okay, so now we head into the cross-examination. Of course, one question will come from myself towards the affirming side, and another question from my colleague to the negating side. And then we'll have other people as well cross-examine the information that you've been providing. My question to team affirming. Would you say that, I think A2 mentioned that Cambridge Analytica provided more information to boost Donald Trump during his elections. Would you say that no other alternative platforms were boosting other candidates like Kamala Harris? Sorry, let me also give you another question. I'm adding on to that one to talk about censorship of the press. During the elections of 2021 in Uganda, how do you think media organizations were operating during the shutdown of the internet? Thank you.
Okay, in 1 minute you answer.
So on the question of Cambridge Analytica and whether other candidates were using other sites, we do not have information on what other candidates were using. What we have information of is that Donald Trump's camp used Facebook, used Cambridge Analytica to dictate what kind of information the voters receive, to highlight in a way that when someone sees the information, they're more inclined to vote to Trump. And that largely led to his success. Where we said that is a problem is the fact that that can not have happened in traditional media. Even when New York Times existed, Daily Mail existed, they opted for social media sites, they opted for Facebook because it is the easier catch, because it is easier to manipulate and spread biased information. And we tell you it is a problem when the kind of information people are receiving is not actually true. It is possible someone could have voted for any other candidate had they had a fair ground to analyze both of them. Thank you.
Mine is clarification. Team negative. And this particular goes to Ivan, the third negative. You said that your action plan would be rolling out the media and information literacy into the school's curriculum so that you erode the subversive actions of social media. Did you say that? What was your action plan?
You see, fake news, or disinformation, right, is used as a tool, or is used as a tool to drive a certain goal or to achieve something, no matter the platform, no matter the vessel, no matter the media it has been used. But the reason as to why I'm saying social media and information literacy should be embedded in the school curriculum is to at least have the people protected against it, the consumers. It's not for the people out there, but it's for the consumers. So that we at least we stand a chance to say that this is fake and this is not.
And what I asked that is it your call to action or your solution?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're now going to get some questions from the audience, just 2 questions, one to the affirming side and another to the negating side.
Thank you so much. This is to the negating side. Our first speaker from UCU said that it's very hard for private sector survive business in Uganda without having a contact person in government. In an interview I watched by TV10 with General Katumba Wamala, he says the private sector here, they are lacking money to win these contracts. It's very hard to find a local investor capable of purchasing like 20 excavators to take on a contract to construct a highway. That is one of the drawbacks. I would ask our speaker to make more research before bringing some information to the audience, because this is a way of giving misleading information to our audience. Then the issue of hygiene issues in India, negative narratives.
First and foremost, I don't see the question that was in that statement, but I'm going to clarify. 1, with social media, our economy is improving. We recently saw how the creatives were accredited for helping the economy improve. We have influencers making money. A platform for others to make the money that government has where will we ever get our economic freedom?
Yes, thank you. I'm Jackson Odong, final year student of journalism, Makerere University. I would have asked a question, but I'm just trying to clarify something. I think we got lost a bit somewhere. And the debate turned out to be like we are trying to see the difference between traditional media and new media. I don't know if we got that. But according to me, I thought we are discussing how much social media has either improved or diminished freedom, and specifically press freedom. So I bring in a quote: freedom lies in the fact that whatever you do does not harm others. And with all those platforms, all of them have a way they hurt others. So when we talked about censorship somewhere in there, I had, both sides talking about censorship is not an issue. Yeah, I'm summing up. But I can tell you that some of the laws you see in Uganda now, an example is the Computer Misuse Act, has come in simply because there is cybercrime, something which didn't exist with the traditional media. So let's try to stick to our topic of how much social media has either improved, or killed the fact of freedom, especially press freedom. Not trying to gauge, how good is traditional media and how bad is social media. Social media needs traditional media needs social media. Thank you.
Thank you. I know our judges doing the final tally. Yes, and I want to ask them so that there's a special room for them to tally, and when they get back, they'll be letting us know. Let's put our hands together and appreciate this team, guys. Team Makerere for then Team UCU, and the judges as they get for us the final top person, and our moderators. Yeah, please, do you want to still stay here? It is okay, so that you maintain your position. That's very fine. But it's okay, you can go back and sit. I was moving around and I had somebody say traditional media covers facts. Then some other person whispered to the other that social media covers your face with filters. I don't know what that meant, but I'm yet to understand what that exactly. Our moderators, I want to thank you so much for doing us good. And you are also free to leave this space so that you get into a neutral position. I wish I could carry your things that you have used as a way of appreciating the work that you have done. But maybe as we wait for the judges, just want to pick one or two people, what you think so far, where we are. Which side are you? You only tell me which side. You don't give a reason this time around. Just tell me. I will start with this man too. I just want to understand which side he is. Which side are you?
Makerere University.
Oh, I can see the side you're even seated. You man, you are here in the middle. Middle is always neutral. So, which side are you?
I respect the middle.
You respect the middle. So I told you. So which side are you?
I'm negating. Can I give my reason?
We are not talking about reasons, but I'm told that we will award the first person and the second person. And the third person, we are praying for you. And really, actually prayer is better than awarding. But I want to say thank you so much all for taking your time to come and be with us this afternoon as we discuss social media, traditional media. I also got confused. At one time, I wanted to support these guys. But when I heard the things that you are saying, I crossed over to this side. But after careful discussion, I realized I needed to be in the middle. Remember, I said also, I'm going to consult the Holy Spirit about the money that I'm going to give. After careful consultation, the Holy Spirit told me that even next year we'll have the same event. Why can't you keep that money for next year? So I will keep it for next year. But I am more reliably informed that our partners will do a good service. So I want to ask us to clap for our partners, Media Challenge Initiative, for hosting us. Then UNESCO for making sure that this event happens. Then you have the Uganda Media Sector Working Group. Let's clap for them. We have Africa Center for Media Excellency. Then you have Media Focus on Africa. So I'll stop here and I just ask you to interact. For the place where you are is a networking place. So if you don't know someone from Makerere, please, you can cross over, you go to them. And I'm also going to ask the DJ to give me Fine Girl. If you enjoy that song, please network as you enjoy the song. DJ, as we enjoy that song and wait for our judges to come back. Yes, thank you for that. Number one. Can you guess? What's the silence for? Anyway, I want to invite you as we wait for the judges. There's a meal we prepared. So we are going to enjoy over there. But it's important that we pray. So I will pray so that we can go and enjoy that meal. Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for yet another opportunity for us to gather in this industry and discuss and debate press freedom as young people of God. And as we celebrate the word press freedom, we ask that each and every stakeholder gets to know why press freedom is important. In Jesus' name I prayed. Amen. Have you ever had a prayer that is press freedom itself? So please, there is stuff over there. You can go. It is not self-service. I don't know why. But I know you will enjoy whatever has been prepared. And on my behalf, enjoy, since I may not have the time to do that. So Val, where is Val? So, especially people who did a lot, those people who know the neutral side can as well enjoy whatever they want. We want to thank you so much for everything. So as we wait for the judges who are going to be here in a few minutes, today will be a very we are going to prove that speaking a lot can earn you money. Okay? Today we'll get to know that. We shall witness. And we also, there are people that I asked to take pictures. If you did, you're a lucky winner. Yes. Those that were able to take a photo. And I remember where I was standing. So if you take it now, it will not be valid. So we'll not use it. So thank you all for coming from the different organizations. I'm liably informed from Africa Center for Media Excellency. Then we have a team from Media Challenge Initiative. We have a team from Media Council. We have representatives from Uganda Sector Working Group. And after that, we will definitely get to know how these medals are going to be given out. Also, a team that wins will be, you leave this place some, I don't know whether it is in dollars, I don't know. Yes, but at least what I can guarantee, that there is a currency that we are going with. It does not matter. Currency is always a currency. So whether it's which currency, no, that one does not matter. And maybe the language you understand is money as a medium of exchange. So that will be with us. So the tamkedde byonna byokola byanguye twagala kumaliriza. Any person has seen the CEO of the Media Challenge Initiative? I'm told he's going to perform the next activity. And also the general manager of the Media Challenge Initiative. People from the Uganda Media Sector Working Group. I'm also told there is a function, one activity that you will perform. People from Africa Center for Media Excellence, there is a function that we are going to perform. So please, let's get in, then we do this. And also, the audience, there is a function that you are going to perform. That function is to see people receive medals. So that's why we need you. Okay? So we need you around to see, to perform that function. Yes, thank you. I can see just the sign of you coming back gives me hope to speak up to tomorrow. But also the side that we will win, you can see me after this so that I congratulate you in a different way. So maybe to ask people what you sing. Who is in number 3? I just want to test. Who is number 3? Who is walking out with the bronze? I want to see if people have been following. If you have been following.
I know number 1.
She knows number 1. I'm asking about number 3. You see, I said they are goodies. I'm seeing more things are coming. I'm not a politician. When I promise, I deliver. I've been told if you receive these t-shirts, you don't wash it. Because the blessing in it, you might pour it away. But if you want to pour it in your compound so that everyone, whoever steps in that compound, gets blessed, you can do that. But UNESCO has said hi through these t-shirts. And I told you things are coming. You see, I told you things are going to do what? To come. So I have here, the winning team. The second team. The third team is my notebook. So I can give it out as well if you permit me. So we are expecting more things. Now that you are seeing things coming, that's a clear indication that the judges are done, whatever they have been doing. So we'll hear from one judge who will just give general comments. And I know the CEO is also over there. And I said the best debater will receive something. And I want the judges to show me that person. And then we can see what to do. If I fail to award that person, we are many. We can get into our pockets and contribute to the debater. So please, get ready. So be preparing your pockets. Who took a picture, I asked? Yeah. So we have around 4 people. I will tell you. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let the judges get in. DJ, if you have some good music, in the meantime, you can. Gweguno nagwefunidde kuba njogedde ajaji balemeddeyo. DJ, do we have, all these people are looking at me and they're expecting something and I don't have it. So please play music at least so that I told you more gifts. So what we are going to do is those that took the photo, where are you? You come here. I want the money is ready now. Yes. Money has come. You know what I have enjoyed about you people? You are very honest people. First, let me first you first pick a t-shirt here before I give you money. Then I tell you, pick one, pick one. Yes, first pick one. If you don't get it, see, for me, I've given out. Okay, so how many are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I said we will give out money, and people thought we were joking. We are going to give out what? Money. Next time, take a picture, and you'll be awarded. You share, okay? We are still giving out money. So just imagine you had all taken a picture. So please, you can go back. Let's clap for these people being very active people. And so, very important. Did you get the money? No t-shirt. Don't worry. A t-shirt can come in the form of money. So, DJ had asked for music. When I wasn't speaking, you said no. Now I'm speaking, music is coming. So instructions very important. But also when I went to pick the t-shirts, the judges told me one thing, that the winner tonight is not that person with the loudest voice or the funniest voice, but the person who remember their facts and the punchlines. So if you have that person, let me see who is that person? That means the other man has won. These guys this side are not believing what happened. So as an organization, we do quite a number of things, and I want to invite Joshua Lumu. Yes, please come. I want to introduce to you for those that are here and they don't know about this platform. If you can get your smartphone, I talked about instructions. Please get your smartphone. You don't want to miss. I'm calling this man so that he gives now. Get your smartphone. You can either go on Instagram or TikTok, and I want this man to tell you about a platform called Switch Africa. In a very short way possible, then I will come in with the instruction that I have. You can use this so that you say those guys, they are not doing a good job. Now, please. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Can you see some energy? Makerere? I like. So, we have heard of Switch Africa, haven't we? Have we? Yes, Switch Africa is a platform for young people, telling stories for young people. Now, over and over, we've been telling you people to follow the Switch Africa platforms. It's not because we are looking for following, but we discovered a way we could represent you people, and we also found out how we could tell stories that get your interest. But also, it's not just about the interest, but it's also about stories that you can relate with, that you can share and feel represented. So, Switch Africa is a platform for young people, telling stories for young people. And we encourage you people to follow our platforms, because in the long run, we shall be giving out a couple of prizes, something juicy. So please keep sharing our content, keep engaging with the content. Also, share it with your other friends. Now, I don't know who the next person going to be taking an award today is, but I have a question. And I don't know if Katongole is allowed to speak. Judges are not allowed to speak. Yes, but okay. I think that question is going to be asked in the switch room. But not taking this long, I would like to invite Antonio to make his last remarks.
You
Yes.
cannot say that, because the time that you're enjoying, it's me who gave it to you. But thank you so much. And our judges are back. So we are going to definitely hear from the judges. But before that, I want us to put our hands together and invite Rosemary Kemgisha from the... she's going to speak to us to understand really why we are here. Then I will invite Peter Okelo, who and John, definitely the judge, they will be here and they will speak and let us know the winner. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. All protocol observed. I would like to appreciate everybody who has participated in this. My name is Rosemary Kemgisha. You've been told I work with Uganda Human Rights Commission, but I'm also part of the Uganda Media Sector Working Group. And I'm just here to give you a brief about that Uganda Media Sector Working Group. It's stakeholders in the media who got together. This is the media practitioners, the regulators, the educators, the development partners, and whoever is in the media sector. We got together to try and address the fragmentation that characterizes our industry. To sort of bring together the media. I don't have to explain that you are media people. I don't have to explain the confusion and chaos that we have had in this industry, but not being able to work together. But this is like a platform that will address the sector issues holistically. Previously, you had journalists moving alone, you had editors moving alone, you had all the stakeholders moving alone. So this is to have a common voice, to have a common platform, and really the ultimate aim is to improve professionalism, to improve welfare, to improve, to fulfill the people's right to information. So the Media Sector Working Group has many partners, like I've explained, and it has been a practice, I think, for 3 years now, that we organize with all the stakeholders, we organize World Press Freedom commemoration activities. So this debate, this inter-university debate, is just one of the activities that are taking place to mark World Press Freedom Day, which is on May 3rd. And in this case, which is tomorrow. So activities have been going on. There are activities this morning, there are activities tomorrow, there were activities before. So the Uganda Media Sector Working Group it just exists as a platform to give a common voice to the industry, to the issues of the industry, and to bring credibility to our campaigns. You know how we had, as media people, I'm a professional journalist, so I always say we. The people in the commission don't understand me because I'm always talking about the media. So the Media Sector Working Group is a good thing, and we have had partners that are helping, that have helped us. I think they were listed here for you so that we can have this commemoration. So Really, the aim is at the end of the day to improve enjoyment of freedom of expression. Actually, as it is stated in the Constitution, freedom of speech and expression, which shall include freedom of the press and other media. That's how it is stated. So thank you very much for being part of this. I am a judger. When I see vibrant young people, I know when God calls me, somebody will step in my shoes, and that is very, very encouraging. And I was telling my colleagues there that just being able to be here as a student, and you stand here and address the public with all the confidence that I saw here, it is really gratifying. Thank you. Don't shy away. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now I want to invite the Jan to give general comments. Then she will let us know a team that will receive gold, silver, and bronze, definitely.
A very good evening to you all. I hope you're eagerly waiting for your gold, all of you. We were very pleased to hear your wonderful submissions, and we have deep respect for all of you. You come and you toss a coin, and in 2 seconds you have to now argue for the opposite side. I think you all did a brilliant job, and I think for that we need to really applaud you. And we find that there was an opportunity, there are now the general comments, there's an opportunity to understand better the theoretical frameworks on press freedom. All of us are students, and sometimes the part where they're telling you about the reason why this has to happen is the part you don't really pay attention to. But sometimes it's the foundation. The justification of press freedom comes from a whole understanding of the role of media in society, understanding of what press is and why actually it's important. And sometimes that got lost, and we found that some people were, as one of the commentators said, almost skewed the conversation to social media is better than mainstream media, which if we kept referring back to the title of the debate, sometimes we found ourselves deviating. The arguments made the connection, made a little connection to press freedom rather than the pressure of social media upon press freedom. So you're like, okay, yeah, press has to be there, but what are the implications of social media on press freedom? Also, in line with that, we also want to remind all that press freedom is a human right, and it's also not just limited, of course, to journalists, but it also comes with duties and responsibilities. So even when they are in social media and online, there's an obligation for the fundamental principles of good journalism. And we missed out on the responsibilities coming up in the conversations. We also thought there was an opportunity to speak a lot more about the threats to media, especially in terms of press freedom. Just because the media is available on social media, does it mean that they are safe, or are they even more exposed? So the safety aspect could have been articulated better. And then please always go back to the conceptual framework, go back to the question at hand. There was an opportunity to demonstrate more teamwork and not work in silos. An opportunity for you to put your best arrow at the front, and I think the other team that could have done better in aligning their best, and make sure that the 10 minutes that were given to you at the beginning were not just for thinking through things, but also strategically planning and aligning yourselves on how you would win the gold. But we are overall impressed by your ability to have very strong conversations at a short notice, and it's very impressive. On that note, we were asked by Antonio to identify for him who the likely winning debater was, and we would like to first make some honorable mentions. We're just making honorable mentions first, and the first honorable mention is from A3 from Makerere University.
A3 Makerere University. Didn't know that something existed in the debate. I used to know A4 as a paper.
It's a paper, but she is...
Yes, please stand, let's see you. Yes, let's clap for her and appreciate.
Yeah.
Okay.
We recognize her strength in putting forward arguments and her strength in staying the course of the conversation. We also found that she spoke with quite the passion that did not put, that promoted a lot of attention and engagement, and so well done to you. And then we also have an honorable mention of N1 from UCU.
A1, thank you so much.
We found him quite knowledgeable and authoritative in his conversation. If we were to give him an assignment on misinformation, I think he would do well to convince people that the earth is flat. Is it flat? Well, or flat around. I think he is one who did very well. He spoke with conviction, knowledgeable. He cited quite broad examples. And his purpose for the debate was to persuade, and he did it very well. And so the winning debater was A2 from Makerere University.
A2, yes. I said I will award A2. Please come, I give you some money.
We were told that when Hitler was trying to convince that the Germans needed compensation, he would get into, and that's legend, he would get into a pub and stomp on a table when people were drinking and demand that we needed compensation. And so we recognized that he had quite a strong knowledge of the subject. And when you have the strong knowledge of the subject, you can easily stomp and still speak in confidence. And he was able to articulate it, not just once, even when he was put under pressure. And we found that he was very engaging and expressive and quite asking the right and tough questions. Congratulations to you.
This man argued as if his phone battery was on 1%. But thank you so much. That's a small gift from me for what you did.
I hope that you agree with us. Did we make an objective? Do you agree with us? Yeah. Okay, great. So should I announce the winners now?
Yes, I guess from... yes, the winner, definitely, because there were two people. Then, guys, we are going to receive our medals. So after announcing the winners, I will call number 3. Then I will need to have a CEO, Media Challenge, Kamgisha, and Kero to come here so that we award these individuals.
Okay, so first of all, would like to really recognize KIU for the very formidable submissions. It was too close to call, and so we still recognize your efforts. And so I think you can still make a case. We think you can still make a case, and we miss to see the rest of the teams, but we saw the knowledge of the subject. We believe that there was an opportunity to be more confident during the cross-examination, but we really appreciate your convictions. Now, shall I invite the team from KIU, please? Welcome and receive your honorary awards.
So these let's clap for Team KIU. Let's appreciate them for So, okay, thank you so much, team. Okay, you said this is more like a football match. Each person in a team gets a medal.
And the runner-up team, which we found very strong and formidable. Apart from the challenge, as of the general comments I met, a slight deviation from the argument for which they took a position from affected how they performed in the end. But we found them very great debaters and people with the unction to win. We missed the opportunity to see a lady in their group, but we do think that they have quite a great future in this, in promoting press freedom. And so we'd like to welcome Uganda Christian University.
Yes, as Uganda Christian University gets on stage, I want to invite Angela from UNESCO Resume. Please, if you can join us as we award. I also want to invite Godwin from Acme to join us. Yes, these are the... Yes, let's appreciate Team UCU as they receive the medals. There is an envelope here as well for about second envelope for the second team. Opio. The Opio is part of the team. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Team UCU. And please.
Okay, and the next team, Makerere University.
Makerere University. Congratulations, Makerere University.
So we are expecting better next time, even when you won. We need to see more understanding of the conceptual frameworks. We need to see more articulation of the quotes you make. The references to constitutions and everything must be rounded, not as a basis of argument. Same goes for statistics. They're not just to be presented there. They must help to build the arguments. Thank you.
Yes, it's okay. I see we have 5 medals. So the team, you know how you will distribute the medals, but it's for 5 people. Thank you so much. Debaters first. And you also receive an envelope that has cash prize. I want to invite all people who, if you know you own a medal, or you're inclusive, please come so that we take a photo. Okay, you please come, we do a group photo with our partners. Come. This is also another opportunity for you to exercise that you really charged your phone. Those that in audiences, be active. Okay? Yes. When you smile, you add beauty to the medal. So feel free to smile and enjoy the. Thank you so much, KIU, Uganda Christian University, and Makerere University for making this a great day, a great evening. To our sponsors, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just want to remind you that ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you that on 5th May, we have a public dialogue that will be happening at Makerere University, Sedat Hall, but we also have safety training for journalists. So you can join us next week on Tuesday for the public dialogue that will be happening. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been told that all the debaters, I told you after the show, you can see me. So thank you so much. May the good Lord keep you safe. And we want to say thank you to Media Challenge, thank you to UNESCO, thank you to Uganda Media Sector Working Group, thank you to Media Focus, thank you to Africa Center for Media Excellence. If you have a question that you want to ask Ariane Ninsima, you know where to direct that question. Thank you all for that. It has been great. Thank you.